to another episode of Making It Happen. This week, we're going to be talking about getting after those goals that are kind of hanging out there that maybe are not at your very top of your list, but they just hang out and they're not getting done, and it's something that you've been thinking about for a while, but you're just not getting to it. Why am I talking about it? Because I just crushed one of those goals this past week. My office was a disaster. It was terrible. I had paper, so much paper, up to my ears in paper, it felt like. Because I like to print things out and work on them when I'm doing creative anything. I just find that I think better on paper, but it was a papery mess. I do all the mail for my family, so all of the bills, all of the mailers and newsletters and things like that, more paper. I just felt overwhelmed and crushed by all this paper. And here I am, building up my business, building up my coaching expertise, and I find that because I'm doing a lot of video conferences, I just had to kind of sequester the mess, but it was still there, and it was cluttering, and it was bothering me. And no, it wasn't something that was necessarily what I would call core strategic to my business. It wasn't something that, anybody in my family was really bothering me about. It was really one of those tasks to clean up my office and clear it out that was just important to me. And I wasn't doing it. And I didn't do it for a really long time. And the longer I let it go, the worse I felt about it. Because, how hard is it to clean your office? I mean, it was getting pretty hard because I'd ignored the problem for so long. It just kind of got, it just kind of got hefty, And I could really see that I wasn't addressing it. And then it kind of made me feel kind of like out of control, Here I am talking about productivity and my office is a mess. Like, yuck, who wants that? So this past week, I got that under control. I cleaned up my office, and I was thinking, I feel like pretty much everyone everywhere has one of those tasks, I'll call them like a priority B, something that doesn't have any urgency attached to it, something that maybe nobody else notices, but you notice, and you really want to take care of it. So how do you muster the motivation to take on those kind of priority B tasks and get them done and get them dusted and get them out of the way? So number one, remember that you can manufacture motivation. It is something that you can choose to have. I know for years I used to believe that, I can't do this because I don't have motivation. Once I changed the language around having motivation to instead getting motivation, or even better, making motivation, that made a huge difference because it meant that I could do things that would motivate me. So number one, you make motivation, you don't just have it, okay? Number two, having some kind of a carrot is a really good strategy. So you notice I have new glasses. I told myself last week that I would not let myself go pick up my new beautiful glasses until I cleaned up that office. And it worked. It worked. I was like, all right, I'm going to make the space. I'm going to take the time. I'm going to do it. And then my big reward is I'm going to get the glasses, and I'm not going to get the glasses until I deal with that office. So that was another thing. Another thing that you can do to help with the motivation is find something enjoyable to do alongside. It's no secret that I don't really love to tidy. I like the effect of tidiness, but the work associated with it was kind of daunting, and especially something like a lot of papers, because I'd have to read all those papers and then decide what I was going to do with them. So to make it more enjoyable, I chose a really upbeat playlist of music that I really loved. I had it on blast, I had it on loop, and I chose a time that nobody was going to be bothered by this. So that really just kind of helped me keep my mojo up. The third thing is to manage your energy and your physical energy. So build in the breaks, but don't use them as procrastination tools. Have the breaks, drink the water, eat the food, do the things that you need to do to be able to stay limber and stay energized so that you can have that energy. You know, when you do it right, it doesn't even take a lot of willpower because the motivation's already there, right? The final thing that you can do is remember why you're doing it in the first place. I wanted to have space that I could actually think and be clear and be proud of the space. If somebody was to walk into it, that they would go, oh yeah, she's got her stuff together, right? I knew that if somebody had walked into my office and really looked around 360, they'd be like, wait a second, aren't you a productivity expert? Shouldn't you have like a super squeaky clean office and stuff? And it would introduce all these questions that I was like, I really don't want you to be asking those questions because yes, I am, and I can do this, right? So we all have these things that we kind of mean to do and we don't do. So rather than waiting for the motivation to do it, manufacture some motivation, right? Give yourself a carrot. Give yourself an opportunity and remind yourself of the pain you're causing yourself by not getting this thing done. Remember the gain that you're gonna get once you're on the other side of it, and just be real with yourself and just make the space to get it done, right? Easier said than done. I know that. I know it's easier said than done. But maybe you've got some ideas out of this video on how you can do it anyway. I hope that this serves you. I hope that you have a wonderful week. And I can't wait to hear what were those kind of priority list B things that have been hanging out on that list forever that you have managed to crush through recently. Leave me comments, subscribe, share this with your friends, and go out there and make it happen.